focus up. Okay, are you set? Are you set on the?
Let me see if I can reduce the volume. Oh yeah, we were up in the 90s.
Okay. Would everybody please silence your cell phones? Okay.
I got 1 minute.
Okay. Okay. Oh yeah, you're right. You're almost
I
there.
got 1 minute.
Okay.
I'll start this show a minute early.
I know. No, we want to be precise.
Okay, we're ready to go.
Okay, I make a motion to open the meeting.
Second?
Roll call.
Trustee Marshall?
Aye.
Trustee Lanfair?
Aye.
Trustee Lightgev?
Aye.
Mayor Plummer?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Is there any board member who has a conflict of interest or anything to disclose regarding the agenda this evening?
I do not.
I do not.
I do not.
I do not. Okay, would you like to give us sort of the background on
Sure.
open meeting compliance?
If anybody wishes to address the board, please give your name and address, unless you're in a protected class. If you're on Zoom, which we do not have anybody this evening, but please raise your hand or put your question in Q&A, and I'll be happy to ask the board. Otherwise, let's all play nice and have a quick and short meeting tonight.
Okay,
I'm using quick and short.
excuse me 1 second. Would you all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. We have public comment this evening. Is there anyone wishing to comment? Art?
Initially, off the record, is it strictly for the agenda item or anything?
Public comment is for anything.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there would be, we're opening the public hearing for the moratorium extension.
Yeah, but that-
So if there is a comment
True.
about the moratorium, it would probably make sense to wait until the public hearing is open for that item.
Right, so I won't speak to it, but it's about STRs. That's acceptable.
Oh, okay, yeah, because the hearing is specific. Yes, you're absolutely right. The hearing this evening that will be open to the public, the item specifically is about the extension of the moratorium. So if you have additional comments about STRs not relevant to that, please feel free to comment. It is, I see where you're going. Thank you.
Thank you very much, I appreciate that. Good evening, everybody. I'll be simple and sweet. I've submitted documentation before as far as my opposition to STRs in residential districts, and certainly not against in a commercial district. I think that's appropriate. As an example, we have other long-term, motels, hotels, et cetera, that serve that purpose. The district serve that purpose. Just a really bullets, if you will. I wish that the board would consider, certainly in the code update, that STRs not be permitted with consideration of the following. In section 210, there's a subsection there that literally speaks to that uses not listed or not permitted outright. And my understanding is reading of the code that there are no STRs listed in the uses permitted unless, once again, not permitted outright. Number two is that per the comprehensive plan, the purpose is to keep critical part of the comprehensive plan is to protect the quality and character of residential neighborhoods. And by introducing short-term rentals, which in essence are Airbnbs, et cetera, and is evidenced by the recent June 2024 legislation of the governor of New York State, which I understand is before the governor for signature, is to tax STRs as businesses. I know that here again, it still needs your signature, but my understanding of past legislation, and therefore I think that gives credence to the fact that it's a commercial operation as opposed to, say, a long-term rental. It's a whole different classification, which the board may or may not have to get involved with. Number three, there's without a doubt, when you consideration of houses within, say, 150 foot of a residence, with consideration 150 feet across the street, kitty corner, behind, next to, approximately 30 to 40% of the population of village residents would be negatively impacted by a SDR. And with that said, I think with, there's 650 units in the village. So with that, there's a substantial amount, 30 to 40% that are directly, not to mention the other folks in the neighborhood which are infected. Any concern about litigation, I understand that, but then the problem is if a decision is made with even consideration of lawsuits, that puts the board in the village in a difficult situation, because any subsequent applicant knows that if that's a criteria for a board's decision, they will be sure to come back and throw that in everybody's faces on that. And here again, my understanding is the core purpose of the village trustees is to protect the village character of the residents, et cetera. Also, last but not least, is that long-term rentals, as an example, they are in fact residences. I don't think there's any dispute on that. Short-term rentals, in fact, are accommodations. There's no way in the world that they are could be considered a residence, strictly, even though you don't have a definition. I think that should be consideration in your final adoption of a code update. That's it for now. Thank you very much for your time.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Art.
Could you submit your comments to Dorothea?
I will.
Would you? So we have it on the, yeah.
Yep.
So we have everything for the, thanks so much, Art, appreciate that. Any other public comment? Anything online? Okay.
Actually, just on the same topic, and if I had something that I was going to bring up in member items, but maybe in light of Mr. Pierce's comment, it might make sense at this juncture. I think in terms of the section of code that states that uses that are not explicitly authorized would be prohibited, my understanding is that whatever our personal opinions are on that matter, the interpretation of that that matters right now, that stands right now, is the code enforcement officer's opinion. And my understanding is that his opinion was that they are a use that is authorized at this point, and so that's the assumption that the village is operating under until someone would make an appeal to the Zoning Board of Appeals. But if anybody else has other clarification on that, I think it would be a useful point for the public to understand. The other thing that I wanted to bring up is at the last meeting, in regards to the distance that a short-term rental could be located with respect to a residential property line. I understand that the code enforcement officer was saying that this would allow 0 STRs in the TDD district. And so I would just like clarification from the building inspector, from the code enforcement officer, if he could send all of the information that he has on proximity and how that relates to the proposed legislation. I think that would be good for the whole board to see. Because, just to put it simply, my intent wasn't that we would authorize STRs in a commercial district, but then effectively disallow them by the proximity regulation. So we had one caller at our last meeting who brought up that point, and I think it was a point that's well raised that we should address. And that's all I've got.
Very quickly, please, we're trying to proceed.
I just asked the board to consider in the code to make sure clarification of what a setback is relative to property line versus a building. My understanding of land use law, that's typical, it's one property, not a structure. It's my understanding to date, that's an interpretation by the code enforcement officer. I could be wrong, that's my understanding, which I think is not in line with standard land use regulations.
Yeah, I believe that interpretation's been in effect for many years, because there's been STRs here for many years as well. So, I mean, we're now going forward, if that's something that everybody wants to revisit, that's what we do.
Yeah, I mean,
that's where we are. This is current circumstances that I believe you're explaining, and where do we go from here? That's my understanding as well. Thank you. Yep, thank you. Understood. Thank you.
Ask for clarification.
Sure.
When you brought up the determination by the building inspector and the possibility of appeal to the Planning and Zoning Board of that decision, because that is the process, I believe that once the building inspector made his determination, there was a window of, I believe, 60 days, is that correct, to file an appeal? And so that the possibility of appeal has passed. I just wanted to make that clarification.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thanks for that.
Just
Oh,
to go back to the property line issue for a moment. So once Steve sends this out, I guess, Jeff, if you have any thoughts too, about the, to a structure, to the property line, it would just be great to clarify that.
That's going to be, that's really is a policy decision, because the code, sorry, excuse me, code will say it. It's, 100 feet of what?
Yeah.
Residential property line or residence.
I believe if you look at the current draft,
It's what?
if you look at the current draft of the legislation,
It does specify
I
that.
don't remember whether it's-
it's in there, very specific.
Yeah, it's residential property line. I
Mhm.
mean, one of the things about, just to continue on the topic, bringing this forward to a vote in our next discussion after the LWRP review and comment. The 100 feet, if we were to go 75, 50, or 0, because it is more relaxed, then that would be permitted to adopt in that moment, but more restrictive, 125 feet would not.
Yes, as was discussed,
Yep, so
exactly.
just
Yep.
reaffirming
Yep.
that understanding.
Thank you for that. Okay, so moving on, it's after 6, so we have our public hearing for the extension of the moratorium for short-term rentals.
Make a motion to open the public hearing for the extension of the moratorium for short-term rentals.
Is there a second?
Second?
Okay, roll call, please.
Trustee Lickett.
Aye.
Trustee Lanfair.
Aye.
Trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, the public hearing is now open on this matter specific to the extension of the moratorium only. Is there anyone wishing to comment? Oh, why, it's Art.
I just want to get TV. Arthur, 70 State Street. Thank you. I'm in full support of extending the moratorium.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there anyone online wishing to speak?
No.
Anyone else in the vast audience before us? Okay, no. Okay, is there a motion to close?
Make a motion to close the moratorium, or to close the public hearing on moratorium for short-term rentals.
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. Roll call.
Okay, Trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Trustee Lanfair.
Aye.
Trustee Lickett.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, is back to the board either for discussion or to go to a vote?
I think it's pretty straightforward. We pretty much have to do this.
We're waiting for planning and zoning.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, and just for the, so that if anybody listening, we're extending it to, I believe it's February 8th of
Sounds right.
Yeah, of 2025, because the planning, or the zoning board needs to be able to have their review and process going forward. That's part of our next steps here. So, yeah, okay.
make a motion to approve the extension of the moratorium for short-term rentals.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Trustee Lanfair.
Aye.
Trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Trustee Lickett.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
All right,
Motion passes.
okay, thanks, everyone.
Seeker is not required, even though it's.
Yeah, we'll do it after the public hearing.
Yeah,
Oh, great.
Yeah.
After the public hearing that we
That's
have.
great, thanks.
we're on it, thanks, so. We're on it. Okay, next up, the treasurer's report, please.
I'm
Thanks,
sorry,
sir.
so we didn't need seeker for the extension of the moratorium.
No.
No.
Oh, was that your question?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
that's okay, no,
You
it's
know,
all
you have
good.
the secret, it's a part
No,
of
but
it.
it's good, I think it's
Okay.
very good that we're seeker sensitive.
Yeah.
It's a type 2 action.
Yeah.
Okay, real quick, we have a bill pay. You received in your packet from Alexandria last week, a total of $35,828.84. That amount has changed. We actually are withdrawing one of the bills for $250, so it's actually less. So it's $35,578.84. There's nothing really of any substantial. I did talk to Trustee Marshall that the railings, they are done. They're not installed due to, we're waiting on the pillars. So they're stored in a safe spot, and we'll pay for that installation once it's done. So, and that's the only big thing on there.
Thank you.
No.
And the engineer's coming back out, too.
Yes, we
Yeah.
have an engineer coming from Barrow,
From Barrow.
working with Marinacci, who did the restoration of the hall from the fire, to give us an estimate as to what really needs to happen with those pillars due to the damage that they have.
And I believe that's this week, is it?
Yes,
Yeah,
it should be
so we should
Thursday.
be able to turn this
So
around.
I should have a response to the board as to where we stand, hopefully soon.
Just, I have a question with regards to the treasurer's, not this report and the approval of the bill, but after. So maybe we can approve this and then follow up.
Sure.
Okay. I just make a motion to approve the bill pay as presented,
Minus the $250.
minus $250.
We're saving that money.
I'll second that.
We have a second roll call?
Trustee Marshall?
Aye.
Trustee Lightkit?
Aye.
Trustee Lanfair?
Aye.
Mayor Plummer?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, anything in a village clerk report? You sort of gave it on the pillars.
Yeah, I kind of gave it on the pillars. The only other thing, I got notification, I think we're getting our little additional bump from the state of, it's like $600 and change. So they're very happy to tell me that. And they say if we get more than that, let them know. So that's about it.
Yeah, Lily.
Thank you. Also, I have a request. I don't know that we need a vote. I need clarification from the clerk. Purchase of mums. I'm requesting $150, kind of a petty cash expenditure for mums to replace the flowers, the seasonal flowers that come out of the urns. So does it have to be?
No, it's already a line item in our budget, so it's okay.
It comes out of the flowers.
I didn't,
Yeah.
okay. So I was
Fine.
going to board
Go
approval.
ahead.
Nah, we're good.
I'm good.
And it's a
Perfect.
small amount that can be certainly just approved
It's
by,
well within my purview,
yeah,
so.
food line purview.
Okay, I'm going to try to get them from Bun Juice, but
Okay.
they aren't
All right.
doing them in the same format anymore, so I may have to go elsewhere.
All right.
But $150 should cover us.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
okay,
My pleasure, I love them.
okay.
Dave?
My question was, will it be for the first week in September when we review the excess in the budget from last year and the determination as to putting that into
It's on the agenda.
the reserves?
Yep.
In advance of that meeting, would it be possible to just outline the total amount of available based on the budget and/or what you might generally suggest or recommend, given the size of the general? And do that as well for the sewer. And then if you could, maybe just outline what we had previously decided, and then how you think, based on the long-term capital plan that we've created and adopted, how you might better think it be allocated. And then we can review that and make some decisions from there.
Sure. Start getting that information that was planned to be prepared, and actually I was going to reach out to you, see if we could have a meeting to go over
Sure.
your recommendations.
Okay. One other question, this has to do with meeting dates, but in the calendar on the main page of the website, we've got a meeting on the 10th and the 11th, and a meeting on the 24th and the 25th. Is
We have one
there,
on the 11th?
is there a 10th and 11th?
You know what, they redid our
24th.
calendars. Oh, no, but that was the internal.
Okay, so I'm guessing there's something.
I don't have that one.
I'm guessing
I
there's
think
something
there's a
live.
problem with the
Take a look.
website. Let me look.
It's been really quirky. Thank goodness we are going to be updating our website hopefully within the next couple of months.
Yeah, it's weird. When you click on the 11th, it says the 10th. So they both
Yeah,
belong to the same meeting.
This might be a glitch in the way it was clicked on.
Yep.
I will talk to.
Yeah, let's sort it tomorrow.
We'll get it resolved.
Yeah, we'll
Okay.
see.
We definitely are the
Thanks for
10th and the
catching that,
24th
though.
at this point.
Totally
Okay.
annoying.
But we're looking at the 10th and the 24th.
Correct.
Okay, and then this is more for the clerk than the treasurer, but hey, I see that.
Let me change my hat.
Okay, perfect. So one of the things that I'd like to see on the agenda for next time is the uses in the districts specific to personal services. And so you can put that on the line item however you like. But it has to do with potentially, if we may talk with Jeff, or we all agree, or there's a majority, where we remove certain uses from the TDD or mixed-use districts in order to encourage alternative commercial opportunities for residents to engage with.
Yep, I think that request was already made to Alexandra because I
It
did
was,
note it.
yeah, it's in the
It's
hopper.
already there.
It's in the hopper.
I already was reviewing the agenda today.
Yep.
and I saw it was already,
Yep, it's there.
so you're good.
Okay, all righty.
Anything else?
How about a motion?
Motion to close the meeting?
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Trustee Lanfair?
Aye.
Trustee
Thanks,
Lickett?
David.
Aye.
Trustee Marshall?
Aye.
Mayor Plummer?
Hi.
Motion passes.
Okay, thanks, everybody.
Great.
Have a great holiday.
Thank you.
You too.